Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is markets in the morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Friday, October 27th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, which is still above $34,000. We'll take a look over there at the XRP price chart, the altcoin market. Of course, take a look over there at the stock market as it gets set to open in the next 4 minutes to understand what the market is looking like as we get the day kicked off after an otherwise insanely bad week for the stock market, but a good week over here for crypto, obviously, as it's been the big breakout week over here in the cryptocurrency market, with Bitcoin getting out of its 200 plus day range. Stocks have been getting hammered this week, so we'll take a peek over at that. We'll see how Friday can finish off for the stock market. We'll take, of course, a look over there at the DXY, US Dollar Currency Index, and a peek over there at precious metals like we do every day, just looking for that signal of one going one way or one going the other day when it comes to precious metals and it comes to the stock market. And then lastly, of course, we'll take a look over there at any type of crypto news that is going on and any type of financial news that is going on. So let's go ahead and kick the day off. Happy Friday, everybody. No more sleeps till the weekend. It starts this afternoon. We've kind of been doing that. My daughter every day, just tell her that. And today she's like, where about Friday? It's Friday. Let's go. All right, Friday. Bitcoin, $34,199 to kick off the last day of the week. Price still sitting in the range as expected, anticipated that we would through this week. Fortunately, it has slowed down. I know people probably would like to see this thing rock and roll and keep on shifting to the upside. We'll keep our eyes on that still for the next week or two. If this thing continues to follow 2016, it just kind of kept on rampaging, following literally these things to within hours. And then here we are, of course, right where we should be, keeping our eyes to see if that rampage still continues or if this run's going to come to an end much quicker than many of us would hope, that if it gets carried away, it could end as soon as November 1st. So slowing down in here and consolidating would set us up for a more familiar structure that could actually really ramp up a whole lot more. I'll show you some other things too to show you why I'm just ridiculously bullish in the short term to get back to those retracement levels. And still, nothing is going to change for me in regards to retraces. That's what it's been through all of 2021, 22, and 23 is to get to the retracement levels. You are definitely going to see people say, are we going to all-time high? This person thinks we're going to all-time high, this, that. It's still going to be retraces for me. I'm definitely going to take profits at the retracement levels, and we'll kind of look at some of that stuff happening here as we get later into this stream when we start looking at the market caps. But Bitcoin still sitting above 34,000. If you caught yesterday's video, which I think a lot of you did, pretty good viewership over there on that one. We were talking a lot about, in this phase in here, as we've had before, what did the altcoin market do during that phase? As you could see, the altcoins did rip up after Bitcoin had this breakout happening in here. But then they paused after a few days in here, right? They kind of paused as Bitcoin just kind of kept grinding its way up till the next breakout level. The altcoins just collectively, you can all see it. They just pulled back. We got the market caps in here. You've got total 2, total 3, others, total. You got XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin all in here. Everything just pulled back as Bitcoin was trying to go for that breakout. So if we see something like that happening in here as Bitcoin's creeping up these last few percentages to try to get through the breakout, it would not be unexpected or unusual to see a divergence emerge here between the altcoin market and between Bitcoin in this one phase. We know that everything was moving in unison all throughout here, except for this one spot. There happened to be a divergence that emerged right in here between the rest of the market and Bitcoin in that grind. Otherwise, it was all perfectly matched. So if we see something like that, you're going to see pain. You're going to see people crying. Why aren't my altcoins going? Why is Bitcoin going? Is Bitcoin going to 90% dominance? Blah, blah, blah. This is the phase right before breakout happening in the market. So kind of expecting that is the one place we do see a divergence emerge in here. So keeping that in mind into this phase, if we continue to just creep along right in here, that there's a possibility of that, because we did see that right here in this one particular spot. So if you didn't catch yesterday's video, go ahead and take a peek, and it'll fill you in on all of that. I actually kept it relatively brief. It was only 17 minutes long, which is less than half of the previous one at 38 minutes, I think. Last one was 38, right? Jeez. All right. So there you go. That's what we're looking at. So taking a peek over here, right? Like looking at current price action, right? So here we are. We're talking about, the altcoins did move up with Bitcoin in this phase, but we can also see that has happened here in current times, right? So we know altcoin, look at you get the altcoin market caps, you got XRP, Bitcoin, Litecoin, all these things. You got all these things moving here with Bitcoin in here, but in that phase, that all stopped, right? So just keeping that in mind, that all stopped. And I don't know if it's going to do that, but I know that if it does do it, well, it's like, okay, well, it did it here before. So keeping that in mind, that it is normal to shoot up here with it, but in this kind of final grind, we could see those altcoins stall in here for just a minute. And so far, we did follow along. We shot up with those the same way, just keeping that in mind going forward. So otherwise, over 34,000 to start off the last day of the week. Still, the range continues perfectly. This looks great. Keeping these things in mind with the altcoin market for the next weeks. Hopefully just a couple of weeks or less, but time's going to be difficult to predict. Looking over there at XRP, as we know, with daily closes, it has been closing on top of where the previous daily closes were able to close throughout that range that we had over here. We've now closed three candles on top of there. We're still just like building a little bit of a bull flag, hoping to see that it can get a firing out of here and get some more juice in it. Looking over at the stock market is now completing its third flow. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to cough and I wanted to turn the mic off for that. Completed its third flow, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Flow 1, flow 2, flow 3. Hoping to see some support come in here and this not be a crashing and crumbling stock market happening right now, because it's not looking good for the stock market, that's for sure. DXY pulling back this morning. As you guys know, we watched the crashing structure of the DXY throughout all of 2022, and here we are all of 2023. We anticipated 99 to 100 to get us our bounce for wave 7. We've gotten it. Just haven't seen any real pullback come out of the DXY just yet. And we know that we have stalled here at the 50% retracement at this point. You would think that a pause would be in order at some point, but still no big signs here from the DXY just yet. As this is driving me crazy that they're doing this now, or they're adding these things in here, news elements, even if you're a premium subscriber. All right, the gold is still just sitting at 1982. Remember, it closed last week at 1980. So the two previous weeks, I'll put these weekly candles on here. The two previous weeks were monsters here in gold. This week, nothing. It's up $2. We'll see how the end of the day ends up wrapping up for gold, but definitely no big changes over here in gold. And I'm going to bet DXY looks about the same, maybe. Yeah, no big changes here for the DXY either. So these two are just kind of at a standoff currently right now. Safety trade dominance, all the same, still waiting. You got Bitcoin dominance rising as you have USDT dominance falling, USDC dominance falling, and you have Ethereum dominance falling. I haven't checked on Ethereum in a little while. Maybe we'll check on it. This is one of the things I actually want to talk about, because this is going to be kind of my thesis moving forward. So if you're not going to pay attention to anything in this video, hopefully it's this part that you do pay attention to right here. Going back to talking about this stuff happening here in Bitcoin, this stuff happening here in the altcoin market and rampaging up and moving along. If you caught Monday's video, Monday was very focused on Bitcoin only, right? And then on Thursday, maybe that was on Tuesday I put that out, sorry. 2 videos ago, very Bitcoin oriented. And then yesterday, very altcoin market oriented. And so tying the whole picture together and getting an understanding of where we are, like you guys know, my thesis has been very different from most theses, right? So it's kind of been my own one. Whether or not people think we are breaking down and going to 12K and that it's the end of the world, or if people think that we're going to new all-time high. I've been in the middle, disagreeing with both. My thoughts have just been retracements, right? That's kind of where we're at. A big worry for me, of course, is this United States stock market, understanding that we can't go into new all-time highs without the stock market. That's always been the case. This week we looked at the NDXT, which is the NASDAQ 100 technology index, right? That's been a big thing to watch. So we can see this thing has now pulled back to this price level. We'll see if that holds today. Probably pretty important that it does. But my thoughts have been retracement. And this structure that we have over here on the total market cap, we've talked a lot about Wyckoff accumulation. And, you know, the phase that we just had here, you can consider this your spring or your last point of support. I think it's kind of a mix of both. You have the same elements of what happens in a spring, where it's aggressive price action. There's liquidations. It exceeded the liquidations of FTX and still continues to just grind sideways in here for the total market cap. And where we are currently, you guys know we've talked about Wyckoff accumulation a lot over the last year. And where we are currently, we just saw like things like Chainlink finally break out of their prolonged, let's pull it up, right, of their prolonged Wyckoff accumulation. We just saw Chainlink finally get out of here. But when you look at what the total market cap looks like currently right now, I'll show you this. There is Wyckoff, right? So what we've clearly had is our preliminary support, our selling climax, our secondary test in phase B, and our last point of support, right? There you go. So the next phase of where we would be heading to is that we're kind of working on our sign of strength right now. It makes perfect sense that we're working on sign of strength, because this is what sign of strength is. It's that we're trying to grind through the top of that resistance in there to get a full-fledged breakout. We're talking about elements like this occurring in here, right? It's that we're at resistance, there's pullbacks, it's not able to get through, then the full clear breakout comes, and then the whole market goes with it. That's where we're at right now. It's that we're working on that sign of strength to get that final breakout to end up coming in here. And all phases of Wyckoff accumulation are present in here. And this is Wyckoff accumulation schematic 2, right? So this is where we have last point of support rather than spring, right? Spring takes us much lower. This is your schematic 2 with last point of support. Let me see if I can find you guys schematic 1 really fast. I'm grabbing it right now. There we go. Right, this is what you guys are very familiar with when it comes to schematic 1 and it comes to spring, how spring will take out our low. But schematic 1, schematic 2 holds, right? And that's also, this is very similar to what we've seen over there in Ethereum. This was similar to what we saw over there in XRP. But, you know, this would have been like our spring, right? We had liquidation events that happened in the market exceeding FTX into that final phase right in there. You could see the phases occurring in here just as they should to finally get that break back up to the height. And that's what we're working on right now. We're working on that breakout. So, you know, whether that takes weeks to play out for this thing to finally get through, you know, timing will be the thing. But in the end, the grand area of interest is going to be into the retracement levels. And then this market's going to have to dictate whether or not it's going to go on and do a whole lot more than that. You know, again, I reiterate, this is a concern, right? The stock market thing is a concern unless if there's some massive turn up. You know, the fact is you have 5 waves down here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. This isn't an ABC, right? This is 5 waves down. That's a little bit concerning because in Elliott wave theory, those who know Elliott waves, depending on whatever way your impulse is moving, you will correct backwards in ABCs, unless if you're going the other way. So if you're heading down, then your corrections and your ABCs will take you back up. Instead, like this is 5 waves down, right? This is not in ABC, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a little bit concerning in here. And I've been trying to kind of theorize, you know, why is crypto, you know, crypto is obviously doing the opposite of what the stock market has been doing in these last couple of days. And I think what we're kind of doing is pricing ourselves for something big to come in the stock market. And that'll be for another day. But I think the thing to kind of pay attention to is when this comes, it's probably going to have a lot of excitement in the market. I think it's probably going to head in a pretty aggressive straight line back up into retracements. And we'll see what happens after that. But this is an area where I'm definitely going to be selling some crypto. I'm going to be positioning. I'm going to be opening puts over there in the stock market to hedge my risk over here in crypto at that time. But things to like here was a funny little stat that I was doing in pre-market, just kind of goofing around. I was kind of like, all right, so like just for fun, what does a 4.236 extension of this range take us to? And that gets us up to right over here. That gets you just above the April 22nd height, right? But that gets us really to where this breakdown happens right over here on January 5th of 2022. So that's where we actually get to, is right there. And then so if we keep that in mind, that hey, where's January 5th of 2022, total 2, or is it total 3? Total 3. Yes, it's total 3. Here you go. We've been looking at like these schematics, right? I'm gonna move that off there. Here is total. Here is January 5th of 2022. And in addition to that, what is that price level? It just so happens to be the area of resistance that we've talked about so much, that 702 retracement. So what's also interesting, so we have like a confluence of measurements on the total market cap. You have a confluence of the dates in the price level for the altcoin market. And one of the other big stats in there, we'll pull it up. And I kind of hinted at it yesterday in the stream, but we'll show it as well. Of the magical unicorn fairy dust that exists within Bitcoin as well. What is the 702 retracement? You ready? $1 trillion on the button. So what are the chances of that? What are the chances the 702 retracement is 1.0000 trillion to the T? These are things I'm going to be watching and preparing for. And I'm trying to kind of like also go through the mental exercises of preparing for this, because I'm convicted that this is what's coming next in the market. That it may take a couple months to get there or so, but that the next phase of this market is going to end up being the big fat break that eventually. This isn't the one we want. Where's the one we want? Did I delete it? Don't tell me I deleted it. Get out of here. We're going to go grab it. Right, this is your phase. You're now finishing it up. Right, we're finishing last point of support. And then we go for a big break, an aggressive break, wild price action, but we're heading back to retracements. And the thing that always happens in markets, it always happens, is the sentiment gets wild and crazy. And I think we had a lot of people flip from their bearish tendencies here in the last couple of days, but the narrative will start become decoupling from stock market, decoupling from everything else, and wild, crazy wildness. And that on the channel, we're going to try to do our best not to be like that. Yeah, we'll celebrate it and we'll be happy about it. But also it's like, it's kind of the reasons why you do the preparations for years leading up to it. And you wait for forever. It's for that one particular moment that everything can matter in one day. It's not like you get whenever the time comes, it's not like you have a month to sit there and wait and make your decision. decisions can have to be made in the blink of an eye, sometimes within a time frame that only lasts a couple of hours, sometimes a couple of days if you're lucky. But if it goes up there, the way these breakouts tend to happen, like we've seen how quickly things are moving over here for Chainlink, that imagine if the whole altcoin market cap broke out this fast, right? And then pauses, and then one more push, and it all happens like that, right? And then it comes back down, like, because you start seeing the stock market get completely carried out of hand. I think it's reasonable to think that's possible to occur, and I think we're entering that moment, right? You don't get signs like this happening. You don't get signs like this happening unless, or signs like this happening, unless we're getting really close. And that when the moment comes, it would be really exciting. You'll see chastising. You'll see that the people who were once 12Kers will then become bulls. They've bought the top, so they're going to be screaming, "You don't know anything. It's going to go down." And it's hard to imagine what it would be like living in 2021 again, in that kind of euphoria again, and just kind of mentally preparing for it. Like, I don't know about you. You can come here and treat this like a game, and it's like all fun, and it's gambling, and you're winning at the casino. It's not like that for me. It's all very serious when it comes down to it. And it's not a game, and the decisions are very intense. Because whether, even me, right, no matter what, you are always going to have some emotions in the game. And that's where the big fighting happens. We've been sitting here fighting against negative emotions for so long. We can't really remember what it's like to fight against those positive emotions of, dang, if I sell now, and what if this thing 10x's after I sell it, right? Those are the things that are difficult at that time, and having to plan accordingly to handle that type of stuff, because that pain is just as bad. You think buying the bottom and then the price falls 25% more after it falls is hard. What about selling it and then it goes up 100% more? You essentially took a 50% loss by selling too early, right? So those things are all very difficult to do. But I'm going to be entering into that time period. So these next few weeks, I'm going to be doing just a tremendous amount of research and kind of preparing for this moment, because I think we're very close to it, and very close. Whether that's a couple of weeks, maybe a month. Either way, I think it's all really, really close. I don't think we're waiting a tremendous amount of time. I think the stock market is flashing very big warning signals happening in here. And we may end up getting another bounce coming out of here in the stock market before things get really carried away. And that may be where we see that crypto market really kind of take off into that moment, kind of like a retracement happening in the stocks. And we get a very quick move happening over here in crypto back to the retraces. And I see a lot of confluence over here still pointing over there. Again, I think the really big danger levels for crypto in general start here. I think they start over here at like 1.66 trillion. 1.65 trillion is where a lot of the danger begins. But I speculate that we could go as high as about 2.3 trillion over here for the entire cryptocurrency market and the total market cap. So I think we're very close to getting that moment. I think we have reached sign of strength over here in Wyckoff accumulation. I think we're going to see YOLO, FOMO, degen behavior return again. And this is going to be an opportunity to lock in a lot of the buys for me that have been placed in here during the periods where everybody's been screaming we're going to 12K. It's going to be time to finally lock in that stuff. But what you'll have to remember, for those who've only really been here in 2021, have been through a few of these things, when that comes, kind of just be prepared for the psychology of the market. It's very degen, and degen is so broad of a term, but things where like we kind of had a little bit of a taste of it back here in May with, creating new contracts on Ethereum, and any type of meme coin that was created ended up pumping, or people are just acting very loosey-goosey with their money, like they were sending it to Ben F, right? If we see lots of stuff again, and that seems to always be the signature thing, where new meme coins are being created daily, that has tended to be like a really big sign. Also, if you're getting contact from friends who haven't been in crypto this whole time, but it's making news waves, right? $1 trillion for Bitcoin will certainly make, $1 trillion market cap will certainly make head waves. Again, $1 trillion happens to be the 702 Fibonacci retracement. How is that possible? Don't know, but it is. And then we have all those confluences between total market cap and altcoin market cap for that same price level as well. So, I don't know if we're going to get through here. I think the stock market is the biggest headwind that's going to stop us from being able to get through there. So I will be taking big profits in a moment like that. Do be prepared. There's going to be a lot of people questioning, BCB, are you sure it's not going to go to an all-time high? I don't know if it's going to go to an all-time high. I'm just profit taking and risk managing at retracement levels. It's going to be intense. You may hear like seriousness coming from my voice because I really think this is what's coming next. And I think, geez, if I can get this off here, we will shift into a new mindset in this market because like I showed you with my emotional log last Friday, I was going through it and saying, this is the phase where the emotions in the market are going to change. This is the price level. And then we enter euphoria. And so when euphoria hits, it always is marked with the market believing we're going way higher. There's a reason why people won't buy lows, right? We're climbing out of the wall of worry. We're climbing up the wall of worry. And then when we get euphoric and when the last bears capitulate and then people get irrational, exuberant and euphoric, that's typically the end. So we'll be looking for those types of behaviors to happen at the retracement levels. But you'll have to understand, I will get as much backlash, and I want you to be prepared for that. I will get as much backlash by expressing concern as we get into those as being a bull at the bottom, as being a bear at the top. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be that people are talking trash. Content creators are going to have different opinions. That's completely fine. But I'm just kind of sticking to what I've really said for the last couple of years, that's where I've expected for us to head to. And I think we're just getting a lot of the signs happening here. We're on the brink of it, especially as we've had others in these ranges in here that have been performing the same thing and giving us early signals. And then, of course, with that breakout that happened here in Bitcoin, I think we're on the cusp of very, very exciting times. But this is kind of that moment. This is that moment where the last couple of years, it's time to get paid. Right? Nobody got paid for the last couple of years, right? It's that time to get paid. And that's the way I'm going to be treating it. So just kind of getting us prepared. Like you would think this would be like a super exciting video where I should be making the title saying, "Imminent breakout of explosion surge on the way. Get ready for super mega increases." But it's more of, I'm going to keep those emotions in check. I'm going to be excited, but I'm going to come on here and be level. So if you want to treat what I'm saying as super mega bull surge explosive increase, that is what I'm saying. But also that I'm not saying we're going to all-time highs yet. Maybe some do. Maybe some coins do. But I don't know if we're going to see that throughout the whole market. I don't think we're going to see it in Bitcoin, at least. So maybe a lot of it, maybe there's laggards that need their turn. But yeah, I think you guys, you could see it yourself. I think we're working on sign of strength right now, and it's about to get wicked fun. As you could see on here, right? You could see all phases heading here, and you see preliminary support right in here. You can see the selling climax, followed by secondary test in phase B. And then last point of support happening in here. And here we are back at the top. This is where the excitement happens. So I think we're there. So anyway, I said I'm going to be spending the next couple of weeks kind of doing some research, and especially after I get off the stream today. I'm going to go look at a lot of developer data. It's pretty much what today is going to be for me. So there's a lot of subscription services I've been meaning to sign up for. So I'm going to go get those, and it's going to be a brutal day for me of data. So, and then, the only reason I'm doing that is not only for my own personal bags, but then of course to relay a lot of that information to you. I want this to be a place where I can provide data for you guys. And that's what I'm going to be spending the day doing. Most of my time is spent living in the charts, but I do pay attention to some developer data. But I have a couple of subscriptions I've been meaning to sign up for, and I'm just going to be digging hard today. So that's what's up. Otherwise, it's an exciting time in the market. If you can't feel that, if you can't understand the significance of what happened in here this week, these are the things we've watched for. This is what we've waited for. We finally got it. And we see those signals showing up over here in the rest of the market that it's approaching the time of mass YOLO. And we'll be there. We'll be there for it. Just like we were there through all the tough times. But get ready that, there's going to be days where I'm saying, hey, I'm selling some. And I'm not. Some of you guys try to you're too used to listening to riddlers that you try to reinterpret things that I say and turn it into something else. If I'm being clear, right? And I'm not the type of person who sells their whole bags. So don't ever think that I just YOLO bombed 100% of my bags. I'm out selling the top. I don't work like that. I'll take chunks off at a time. I slowly grab some and just remove it from the market. It'll be time to get paid, man. Buying the FTX collapse and dealing with over a year of 12Kers in the comments, man. Time to get paid. But it doesn't mean I take everything off the table. Even when I think the full-fledged crash is coming, I will not be 100% out of the market because I'm always willing to have a little humility and humbleness that maybe I'm misreading. So some of it will remain in regardless and will crash to zero if that ends up being the case. But I'm definitely thinking this is our next phase in the market, and it's exciting. And it's been a long time since I've hit that sell button to put money into my bank account. And it's been mostly money coming out of it has been money coming out of the bank account to go into the market down here, and I think we are right on the cusp of it finally going. So it's very, very exciting time. But that also means a very emotional time. And emotions can make us drunk. You'll see people in the chat constantly, dude, are you sure it's not going to go up another 100%? No, I'm not sure. No. But, it's going to be time. So I'm pretty pumped, right? So, all right. Let's stop getting all serious. It's friggin' Friday. Bitcoin, $34,000, still in the grind. Again, one of these things too, just to kind of reiterate this stuff in here, it was actually, and I don't know if this is going to be the case, but I'm just going to point it out because I kind of dug into this really closely. It was actually this moment right here where really the altcoins started that downtrend. So we'll point to it right here. Is this right? Here it is. As you could see, it starts, right? They all move up together, right? But it's right here where they all really start grinding down together. So they all had that initial surge up together, but then as it's trying to go for actual real breakout in here, this is where that pullback all really starts in here. So something I'm kind of keeping in mind in here throughout the weekend is that if we see a push up here in Bitcoin right in here, I did a little bit of flipping of Bitcoin into altcoins. I may reverse some of those really quick, a few of those back really quick, kind of waiting for another dip. Mind you, let's be very clear, over 80% of my bag is altcoins. That stuff's not, I almost said the S bomb. That stuff's not being touched. I'm just talking about little flip flops that I'm doing over here with my Bitcoin. I have full intention, and I'm being very strategic on paying attention to these things on when I am getting rid of my Bitcoin. I'm being very clear. I'm not a believer in $100,000 Bitcoin. If that's not your thing, you'll have to go find another channel to listen to. I'm not a believer in it. I think the max we get for Bitcoin is 50K, 51 if we're lucky. That's max. I think there's issues all the way between 38 to 51. Max is 51 for me. And so my strategy now is, how do I find the optimal entry to get my Bitcoin into the altcoin market, and where do I want that to go? So I do believe if this is the case, right? If this is, then what do we got? We got maybe 2 weeks to try to figure that out on which ones are the ones to be grabbing. And so that's why today, when I get off this stream, I'm going to go sign up for a couple subscriptions that I've been meaning to, that I feel are like super alpha that most people don't pay attention to, and see if I can start dissecting things and finding some hidden stuff going on out there in the market. So, and hopefully I have something to report to you in a couple of weeks regarding those and those assets that are doing well. If one thing to know, like even just simple stuff, right? We've talked a lot about like developer data. And we know that developers are way down in the cryptocurrency market right now. Here is 2018, 19, and 20. Notice that we really just kind of go flat, right? For those years of developers, right? Not this time around, right? So I'm talking about like, look, something's different about this market. I'm not so certain we're going into all-time highs, not just because of this. Of course, a lot to do with the stock market. And that we've completed multiple super cycles over here, but you see that there's a trend change happening here, even underneath the hood in the cryptocurrency market, that like developers still uptrending, but even during like massive bears, just kind of going flat. Look at this fall off. Look at this fall off, right? Here's 2018 through 2020. Boom. Look at this stuff. Look at this. New developers by month in the whole crypto market. Look at this stuff. This is vastly different. Like, right? I mean, like here's 2015, 2016, 2017. Here's 2018, 19, 20, right? And then look at this. We're now, boom, way back down here to like 2020 lows. There's something underneath the hood that is very interesting in here. And like looking at total devs down 28%, full-time devs down 24%. You'll be hard to find many that actually are in the green, that actually are growing. Very few are growing or even flat. For the first time even, you've got Bitcoin in the negative. You got Bitcoin down 8%. Where are you, Bitcoin? I thought you were down 8%. Where are you? 7%. Bitcoin down 7%. On full-time devs, even part-time devs down 16%. This one's crazy too. Ethereum down 19. You don't see that. And like you have to think of Ethereum, it is the number one most full-time devs on it, most part-time devs. Down. Look at all your big boys in here with the most devs in here getting crushed, right? In regards to actual devs. But what is interesting is who are the ones that are still green in the year, right? Over the course of last year. Stellar, XRP, Chainlink, Hedera. The only thing that concerns me about Hedera, which, I'm a fan of growing ecosystems and people being excited about it. One, you got part-time devs getting hammered, negative 35%, or total devs getting hammered, but full-time up 13. It's just the inflation. The inflation's close to 50% on Hedera. That's kind of a pull down for me. But, looking at stuff, right, that still is in the green. So, and this data, this is them pulling their data. This is how they collect their data and how they report it. But I have other places that I'm going to be going to today to try to look at other stuff and activity that is still going on. But this place is pretty cool, right? Because you can go in here and you can look at stuff like activity, right? Monthly activity by developers. We're looking at like XRP, right? You can just see that the uptrend still continuing happening in here and maintaining itself. You can see commits all happening in here, but you go back and you look at stuff like people think I pick on algo. I just want to give you a show of this. The algorithm's down 56% full-time devs year over year, along with total devs down 45% year over year. And then we go and look at monthly active developers, right? You can see that's not what we just saw with XRP, where it's still just kind of grinding up. You see how there's this big reversal happening in here in March of 2022, and just big downward trajectories here happening in active developers, both in full-time, part-time, and one-time commits. And then looking over here at the actual monthly commits by developers, we could see these things falling off drastically as well. So these are kind of things to look at underneath the hood that, is there excitement within an ecosystem, right? And so these are some of the things that I'm going to be looking at and try to do a better job at being able to report some of this stuff to you guys. So hope that kind of puts into perspective how I get asked about algo a lot. This is when I'm saying, dev data down, this is what I mean. There's a whole lot less commits, a whole lot less active devs. And we tried to learn a lot of lessons from 2021 on what did well, what did poorly. And, on the course, I went through it. There's a whole section in there. I showed this to the member stream the other day. Research that improved odds in there. We go through a lot of this stuff and we look at the dev data to show things that were doing this. Even if they were on the top of the list in regards to total devs, it was a bad sign moving forward to see data, especially stuff where you're exceeding market average. So market average for full-time devs is down 24%. So if you're down, 29%, 26, 50% for Solana, 34% for Polygon, Kasuma, right? These are more than market average. And I don't know if 22% down for BNB is okay enough, right? This is a new dynamic in the market, but something that is different, right? And, it's been very different for me to say things like, hey, I don't think Bitcoin's going to set a new all-time high this time around. It's like, well, why wouldn't it? It's always followed these 4-year cycles. And it's been like, well, kind of there's a stock market thing going on in here. But then we also see some weird developer activity going on over here in the crypto market in general that is different from last bear, where things just kind of stall. And yeah, dips and stuff, but really just kind of stalls. This is a full-fledged reversal happening here in active devs, both in one-time, part-time, and full-time. A full reversal. Going back to the lows of 2020, which you can see the lows of 2019 didn't go down to the lows of 2015, right? But why are we all the way down here? Unless if there's like that interest in crypto has faded. Now, could that just be a society issue having to do with like the taintedness of FTX? Maybe, right? What usually brings people back? Prices. Price goes up, everybody's optimistic and everybody's interested. And that's always what happens. And that's why we see commits still continue. Like these are continuing until March of 2022 to where it finally peaks, right? That's because they don't come in until prices start surging, right? So here we are, like you could still see here in January of 2021, you could see new developers by month. It's still not at new all-time highs. But once price breaks out into all-time high, people get interested in participating in the market. We know that some sentiment has been in the gutter for a very long time, right? And so you can see this peak doesn't happen here till March of 2022. That's when everybody's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. Right? January, February, March, right? Okay, this market isn't that interesting anymore. We're out. We're not going to keep going anymore. And so, once price reverses and excitement happens, it seems logical we'll see a reversal in this. We haven't seen that big of a fade of the crypto market in regards to developers and activity happen ever. So just something to keep in mind. So, picking and choosing, right? We know that in 2015 and 2016, right, like 9 out of 10 would 70x. Like we've even run through that math in here. I think it was this one. It was this one right here, reviewing alt seasons. That 9 out of 10, from accumulating 2015 and 2016, 9 out of 10 would have 70x'd Or if you accumulated all 10, the average was 70x between them all on the first alt season. But then when we got to 2021, lessons learned from 2017 and 2021, only 2 out of 10. So we had a huge disparity between 2021 and between 2017. And the question now becomes, is it going to be even fewer, right? Because this list is now dwindling much more, right? The interest is being lost on some of these. I think one of the things that's interesting about Solana is Solana definitely has the same setup as Ethereum had back in 2018 and 19 into its recovery in 2020, and then it goes into a 4.236 extension. But Ethereum also had positive developer data during that time. There was more interest, more building still happening on Ethereum in 2018, 19, and 20, unlike what you're seeing in Solana with all the abandonment and the fact that we have so many VCs and self-interest groups that were involved in Solana. That I'm curious if that may get a good pump, because VCs don't lose, man. They will manipulate this market and with social media and everything to build all this excitement. But boom, their job is just to sell the retraces, get their money out, and bail. So I think that's very possible too. That there may be a whole lot of hype around Solana, but we totally see this from an adoption standpoint. It is wrecked, totally wrecked. Total developers negative 57%. Nothing up here except for Near is worse than that outside of Solana. Again, I own Solana. I kind of get the market. I understand the VC thing. I see the structure. I own some, but I'm not fooled that I'm not going to take some profits in a move like this. So hold on one second. I'm going to mute the microphone for one moment. Okay, here we go. That is 46 minutes of rambling, everybody. I hope there was some value in all that. I totally didn't think we were going to go in that direction, but we did. Okay. That's what you call winging it and getting into it. No, I've been trying not to complain, but I have been under the weather, and you guys always say you get under the weather all the time. Yeah, well, I got little kids, so. If you don't got little kids, you don't get it. Anybody who's got little kids, you're like, yep, that's life for sure. But yeah, all right. So let's dive in here, guys. We got 2,000 people in here, 743 likes. If you guys could hit the like button, that's the best way to support the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so there you go. That's what's going on. You got crypto. You got Bitcoin sitting above $34,000. You got XRP sitting at 55 with daily closes happening above that range level. That's been there for about a year and a half now. Still waiting for some action. Stock market. NASDAQ catching a bounce today, up 148 points. Dow down 51. S&P up 9. So the NASDAQ's up over 1%. The S&P's up 0.25%. While Dow Jones is down about 0.17%. Big winners of the day so far is Amazon, Roblox, and Meta. Losers of the day, Ford, GE, and United Health. I own Ford. I'm probably going to cut my Ford. I'm probably getting out of that. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I'm out. I'm cutting my Ford. And I'll have a stop loss re-entering back up in here. I've had a long-term belief Ford would be okay. I don't think so anymore. I think that was the nail in the coffin right there for Ford. Let's take a look on like monthly time frames, right? That move right there just cracked everything. It cracked all supports, moving averages, trends. My beliefs have been that we'll see some recovery out of Ford, but it's just not emerging. I'll probably get in again if we get above $13, but I'm out. I'm done. This was a C19 accumulation for me, but just never turned into anything. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the chat. Crypto Student 99, new member, welcome. Thank you very much. Months ago, you said XRP could be doing a flat with an ABCDE. Are we potentially wrapping up the E? A flat? I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember what we're talking about. Okay, unless you're talking about the big thing, right? A, B, C, D, E, right? So we're talking about. but this is considered a contracting triangle, right? A contracting triangle. Yeah, I would hope so, but we obviously need to see the price move, right? All right, that would be A, B, C to complete the last one, right? So that's what you get, right? You get A, B, C, 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 right? Then you can go, right? A, B, C, D, E, contraction, and then go. But in the end, this is all dictated by this guy, right? That's not what all your fancy YouTube videos tell you, but that's just the reality of it. We're dictated by Bitcoin and crypto in general. But hopefully, yeah. Andy Philpott says he had gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much, Andy. Michael J. Love gifts a BCB membership. You guys, thank you very much right out the gates. Of course, this was like an hour ago that you guys did this, so I'll try to catch up. Jerome says, thank you for everything you do. Do you expect alts to make new all-time highs after Bitcoin completes its retracement or just a retrace as well? We'll just have to see how the market behaves. Mathematically, if the market only goes into a retrace, it would mean everything's not going into a new all-time high, right? If the altcoin market's going back to a retracement or a 702 retracement, it would just by definition mean everything can't go into an all-time high. Unless like if every stablecoin came into the market and the stablecoin market went to zero, right? Maybe, and that would have to mean that every dollar in the stablecoin market would enter the market. Maybe, but that doesn't seem reasonable to me. I think a lot of stuff has already gone into it's done such big all-time highs that we won't see them again. Like I don't think you're going to see new all-time highs in things like Near or BNB or like probably a lot of stuff. Just because I'm not mentioning them, I'm just saying stuff that's like right off the top of my head. Casper, Crow, Uniswap, right? Let me see. Maybe Uniswap. I mean, it would have to be ridiculous, right? I mean, I think for all-time highs and a lot of stuff, you'd have to see like super rotations happen. Like, I don't think you could see if like I'm theorizing it, right? But I'm not saying it will. But just from a mathematical standpoint, if the altcoin market only went into a retracement, the only way we could get like a bunch of new all-time highs is it'd have to be like a market of chasing, which is what the end of 2017 and early 2018 was like. That it was just like this, and then that bubble pops, but everybody just chased the top of that bubble. And then there's another one that gets going after that as this liquidity leaves here and enters the next one. And then there's another one. And then it just becomes the latecomers just constantly become the new bag holders over and over and over again. But when the liquidity leaves these ones, they shift it down into new ones, and then they go and go and go. That's really the only mathematical way I could see a bunch of new all-time highs happen throughout the market. Unless if I'm wrong, and unless if the altcoin market and total market cap goes and sets a new all-time high. Which, you know, this has been the case so far, right? This has been how the market has behaved out, right? This has been just as it was accumulating on top of the previous 2013 all-time high. This was the structure that happened, so we don't get that data on here, but imagine it being like this, right? And you're like that. That, you know, this is what we're doing here. Structurally the same thing. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we go higher than retracements, and this thing gets out of here. And maybe, you know, I come up with theories, but maybe you do something like this, where we break out. We go for that big major move. We hit the 702. There's a massive fallback that happens in here as this guy is falling apart. And so what we actually witnessed happen here in the crypto market would have been, where are you? Would have been the market pricing itself in preparation for a major crash to come for the stock market. We know that's what the market did here. It priced itself right before the C19 crash. And when the crash came, the lows held, right? So like in an event like that, and then we actually end up seeing this big, massive move. Because my thoughts are that this is Not going to be a Great Depression style crash where we go like that. I think it's more likely that this is decades long. And this lasts for just a long time. And so, you get that move right in there that gives enough opportunity for some type of catch to happen. And if we see that happen, I would probably change my mind pretty quick on that this thing's falling apart. We know structurally that's what we're doing, and we're doing it at the appropriate place that we should be doing it, on top of the previous all-time high. Let me darken that up. Right, that is correct. But doesn't matter for on this channel. I'm taking profits at retracement levels, and if some of you guys will not be emotionally able to handle that, and I'm just kind of warning you right now, some of you won't be able to handle it. I know you're like, what? Some of you won't be able to handle it. It just means daddy's getting paid. That's all it means. So we'll have to see how the market's doing at that time. For me, regardless of what any assets are doing, that's going to be the likely time. And so, like I've said, I'm going to be leaving assets in the market, right? So it's not like I'm getting out 100%. I'm willing to leave some in case I'm wrong. And so people are going to ask, well, are you going to sell your XRP? Are you going to sell your XRP? Probably not. But I'll probably be able to sell a lot of other stuff to still balance it the way I want it. That I can keep that, but still reduce the portfolio way down. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't. It doesn't mean you shouldn't. Because if the whole market goes down, XRP is probably going to go down with it too. But I'm doing this for my whole portfolio. So whenever that happens, just because I'm saying I'm not doing XRP doesn't mean it's not the right thing to not do XRP. Because XRP tends to follow the whole market. Hate it or love it. No Ripple IPO narrative. Go buy Link, go buy shares. None of that's going to change anything. It's going to go with the market, right? And then it's just going to be how you feel comfortable allocating, expecting that there's a high likelihood of a big move down in the market to happen, and where you want to be allocated during that, right? For me, it's going to be a lot of cash, and then of my crypto, it'd probably be mostly allocated in XRP because that's how I've always done it. Mr. Manure, why do companies create inflation for their coins? Well, because they can keep it, because they get to take the money. Because they're the ones who get them. Free money. J Rock's own ZX4991. Thank you so much. Very generous. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks for all your hard work, BCB. You've been a constant part of my routine since 2020. Super grateful. Amazing to watch this channel grow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There we go. J Rock's just a strong, positive comment. Thank you very much. It was very generous. Appreciate it, man. Jerome T gifted 5 BCB memberships. My man, thank you. And Pat, I don't see your name on my screen. Maybe I'll get to it, but I see the 20 bomb you've dropped up there of BCB memberships. We'll see if it shows up in here. I don't want to forget it in case it isn't, because that's happened before. Michael J. Love gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much, Michael J. Love. Appreciate it, brother. Jerome says, thank you for everything you do. Do you expect alts to make new all-time highs after Bitcoin completes its retracement, or just retrace as well? Am I repeating myself? I am repeating myself. Jerome T with 5. Thank you very much, Jerome. Gifted 5 BCB memberships. Michael J. Love says, hit the freaking like button. It is free. That's right. It is free. Number one way to make BCB happy. Every day when I get on there, I check how to see how many likes we got. Oh, hey, people liked that video. And I'm like, oh, people hate me. Imagine that. When you don't hit the like button, I think you hate me. I'm just kidding. Hit the like button, though. Or else you hate me. All right. And if you do hate me, hit the thumbs down button. YouTube likes that too. They like the engagement. Ben Davenport says BCB 7-wave crashing structure in DJI starting on August 1st, currently on wave 7, dipping down to the May 25th low. No, this is like a 5-wave flow, a 3-wave flow. 1, 2, 3. Man, you better. I would be nervous about this level here. If this level breaks, man, that the stock market could really get carried away. And especially you saw things like Ford really break today. That was a bad break for Ford. That was no bueno. Drum T, member for 4 months. I don't know if that. I don't think that's a crashing structure. I think this is a 5-wave flow. But you know, mindful of a bounce here, then continuing. And watch out if this level gets taken out. I mean, if we take this level out, I mean, like we've done everything that signifies the stock market is done for, just done for. In regards to taking out higher lows, yuck. Drum T, BCB, are you taking profit on XRP before seeing an all-time high? My exit plan is all set in this market since 2017 and needs some peace of mind. I don't plan on it. We'll see what the market looks like, but I don't plan on it. Rad, member for 3 months. Thanks once again for memberships, guys. Learn from the past mistakes and take some money off the table when you're up, and then play with the house money. There you go. Kevin Smith said, sorry, you've probably been asked a million times, but you expect XRP to hit an all-time high in this run whenever it comes? Is this when you expect the sub $9, $10? You would think this would be the chance for it to do it. Unless... You would think this would be the chance for it to do it, unless if this 2016 stuff is in play. And if, like we just talked about, if what we're seeing is a move up big enough in this market to get back into retracements, for the market to digest a crashing stock market like we did with C19. And if we digest it, and then we just continue this 2016 stuff, then you're not going to see bull runs and all-time highs until way over there. Wow, that thing really jumped. Right. Right. In this circumstance where all this is happening, this would be the moment where you do see it. Right. And I understand we didn't see it in XRP in this phase in here. Well, Ethereum did. But that's because XRP, of course, we still don't know. We can't read history and say what would have happened differently. But XRP, obviously, where are you? Getting sued by the SEC, right there. Right. Obviously, the rest of the market continues higher, where XRP goes into the dumpsters. On the lawsuit from the SEC and the market manipulation by the corrupt politicians. Jerks. So hopefully this is it. But if we are still doing this, right, and like they've been trying to like push this hard these last couple of weeks, if this is our circumstance here and we go into this 200-day range, don't expect anything. Don't expect any new all-time highs anywhere. If this is, I mean, maybe a random S coin that's like rank number 250 or something, you know what I mean? But like, not the whole market. Like in this circumstance, you would not see it. Like if we enter a new 200-day range, you wouldn't see it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure I hit that right on the head on the 2 videos that were released this week. Gerardo. Thank you very much, Gerardo Gonzalez. He says, hey, BCB, what are your thoughts on the Dow and other indexes at this point? Should it all affect the retrace for crypto market, or could we see a decoupling happen? So I speculate we actually do see some kind of bounce coming in here, but it's short-lived, and that we might just be seeing crypto. Right? What would the narrative be? So you have to understand why would the narrative be? Oh, stock market's crashing, crypto's rising from the ashes, crypto's decoupling, Bitcoin ETF, crypto's going to survive this while the mainstream money dies, and crypto is the safe haven, right? But it may just be that the market is kind of giving itself a rally prior to that. And you got to understand that's what happened during C19. We rallied big time right before C19 happened. And then boom, 70% wiped out from the market in a matter of days. So we've been through that rodeo before. But indexes don't look good. Let's look at the NDXT. So NDXT held crazy. So NDXT held yesterday. We'll see if it can continue to do so. How long have you been in this range, NDXT? Are you at 200 days in this range? You're at 150 in this range. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, dude, they've been looking like garbage, man. You're still holding, you got this, but man, you got lower lows on NASDAQ. S&P, oh, just sheer trash. Just sheer trash in the S&P. Yeah. I don't know. I am happy to say that, like, having only like 3% of my net worth in the stock market feels good with crypto being up, while S is kind of hitting the fan over here in stocks. But yeah, just not a pretty picture for the stock market still. Reese early says, do you still see XRP hitting around $9 if Bitcoin only gets to 50K? I think I've kind of explained that. We'll just have to see, right? If the scenario of Bitcoin is only this, right? If this is the full-blown retrace, I would think, like seriously, if I would think this is the end of Bitcoin, right? And this is where it's going to come all crumbling down and the gig is up and it's over for Bitcoin. All these suckers thinking it's magic internet money and it's a perfect thing with no privacy and totally trackable, and the government can watch every single thing that you can do. That costs $50 a transaction during high-speed times. If this is the end of that, I would think that's as good of a time as any for it to happen. If we are still just doing this, and if the narrative is going to live on, and the Bitcoin dream is going to live on, and super cycle number 4 is beginning, we still have to consolidate here for over half a year, over 6 months or 7 months in here, then shoot up to all-time highs. Then you would see those things take place at. So it'd still be a year away. So in a circumstance where we are still just 2016 it, and we're still just going to spend 200 days ranging, no, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to do it now. If this is the end, if this is the final liquidity pump for Bitcoin, before crumbling down to 3K, yeah, it seems like as good of a time as any for it to happen. You have to wrong foot the whole market. The whole market has to buy into the narrative. So, maybe this FTX trial, maybe there's something at the end of this, right? Maybe there's, like, this is all part of the plan. Like, there's something that's going to happen at the end of this thing, and the timing of this FTX trial and when it's happening, it's all correlating with, particular moments in time on Bitcoin. It's correlating with, right when something is getting ready to happen in the market. The Ripple case wrapping up. That was ongoing for 3 years. You got events that are lining up. And then, the Bitcoin ETF. Do the Bitcoiners finally get their ETF that they think is going to send them to the moon? But every financial product for Bitcoin is always reversed the price. Right. So you have events, right? Maybe that's what we need to stimulate orgasmic excitement. And that's how you mark a top, right? When the wall of worry is laid down, nobody is fearful anymore. Everybody feels the opportunity is leaving them behind and they can't afford not to buy. That's when the top is. I can't afford not to buy because these people are going to get rich without me. That's the top. And if you're still a 12K or sitting on the sideline, I'm telling you your life story that is coming very soon. Being smart. I saw somebody post over there on the internet. Being scared isn't the definition of being intelligent and smart. Right. How many people have been so intelligent selling the bottom waiting for 12K? That's not intelligence. It's scared. Emotions. I pointed out Ryan Selkis, right? Ryan Selkis had done that one. I've like featured it in multiple videos and here on the live streams. Like when we had that liquidation, when we had this right here on September 11th, he was like, man, even I feel like absolute garbage, and I'm hitting the buy button. He's like, he's got the Randy Marsh thing on there. And he's like, I didn't hear no bell. And I thought that was brilliant. I gave a lot of props to him on that day, on that buy, like live, because I was like, you get it. You get it, sir. You proved your experience in this market, because when I felt it, I felt that crummy feeling. I felt that garbage. And when you feel that garbage, that trash, that's it. And then the thing we haven't experienced in a long time, so a lot of people have forgotten what it feels like, is what that euphoria feels like. And is that the mark, right? We don't remember. A lot of people just don't remember. All right, Merlin, how soon do you move your crypto from your hard wallet to an exchange as we get closer to selling time? The day of, or will you have it moved to an exchange or a week or so in advance? Mixed, right? People keep asking me this. I really am uncomfortable answering that question for you guys. I really want you to make that decision by yourself, and do not listen to me. Don't. It's just silly that you guys are asking me, because I shouldn't be asked this question. It's something you do. You need to do on your own. So I'm going to leave it at that. You decide for yourself. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the super chat, but I don't want to answer that for you guys. I kind of get asked that question every day. I don't want you looking at me when an exchange goes down and you're like, hey, you told me to put my crypto on the exchange. It's like, well, dude, I didn't know that was going to happen. You know what I mean? That's kind of up for you guys to decide, because I don't know how long you're going to have to keep it on the exchange. Like, I've tried that before. I've tried moving it like the day of, and then you set the limit order, and then price pulls back, and you end up leaving your crypto on there for like 3 weeks. Right? Because it didn't quite hit your target, and then you're just sitting there waiting, and it didn't happen that day that you thought it was going to happen, right? And some cryptos move faster than others. Like, some of them are really fast, like XRP, but some of them slow as clunky as can be, especially during high traffic times. So Merlin, I really appreciate the super chat, but I just don't like answering that question. I get asked it lately, been asked it every day. And I think you guys have to decide that for yourself, how soon you are going to do that. Crypto Lowlick says, hit the freaking like button. BCB deserves much more. Thank you very much, Crypto Lowlick. Lowlick XRP. Trucolitis. I think I could probably cut that one. Trucolitis. Trucolits. 17. If Bitcoin gets to 702 retracement 1 trillion market cap, would that coincide with $7-10 XRP? Are you guys listening? I would hope so. I don't know. We'll find out. Philip Mann gifted a BCB membership. Thank you. Hans Loaded. Thank you very much, brother. You gifted one too. If Bitcoin is retraced and XRP not your target, will you sell some no matter the price? Okay, I've already answered that question. Thank you very much for the super chat, XRPG. Jay Duffy, new member. Thank you. Oscar Hernandez, hit the like. Thank you very much. Oscar is generous. Thank you. Agree with everybody. Hit the like. Devon Borrowdale says, BCB, I've been watching this since 2020. Please talk about your OG price targets, EOS, specifically 95. I did. We like, EOS is literally why we have these discussions like this. EOS is an abandoned coin. It used to be, like, imagine EOS as being right here. Number 2, most transaction volume, most dollar volume, like second most dollar volume, everything like that. But you're seeing this type of stuff happening in here, and you see it fall. But man, we've addressed this for years, brother. A 4.236 extension of the 2018 high, $95. An abandoned coin with no developer activity. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Jerome VDZ. Thank you so much for your elaborated answer. Thank you so much. Skeleton gifted a BCB membership, Block 1 BCB membership. Thank you very much, Skeleton. JJ Jacob says, with the 5 ways down on the DJI, can it still hit 4.236? I mean, anything is possible, right? Did I lose it? There it is. Just, do you think it's possible? I mean, it's like violated so many uptrend rules, right? Like so many of them that happen in uptrends of maintaining these higher lows. Like just so many, like retraces, right? Like, ugh, you know, what's the lowest it's ever gone? I guess that's 5 right there, right? You got 5 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But doesn't go below 50%. We're already below 50%. I just don't see many positive things for the Dow Jones, for the stock market. Again, my biggest worry I have is for those who are fully 401kers. But we have been trained, like our whole lives, we've been trained our whole lives to just passively invest with our paycheck. So we don't even see it. We don't even feel it. We don't even realize it's there. And then once we take a look at our statement, which comes 6 months later, and we see half the values wiped out, we're like, dude, what the heck? But again, I'm right. I mean, like with 5-wave structures, like this thing, it's due to all the lower lows being broken, lower highs and lower lows, or higher lows and higher highs. Like, God, I just can't get my words straight. But I don't have a lot of confidence in it. It would need to pull out a pretty big surprise. Pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, I don't, not for me. I don't have a lot invested in the stock market, right? Like if all my stocks went to 0, it would not financially impact me at all. It'd be like dropping a nickel on the ground and losing it. But I do worry, what does the next 20 years look like? See the big bearish divergence. Falling off stochastic. Let's look at the yearly. The yearly has peaked back here. This is your 2000 bubble pop. That's the beginning of your 2000 bubble pop. There's your great financial crisis. Notice the entire run up from Bitcoin's inception. That's Bitcoin's life. What does Bitcoin's life look like in that? Without buying into the narratives and the click narratives on YouTube, nobody has the answer for what it really does during that. And so I take the ballsy approach of coming on here and saying what I think. And it's, because what's going to happen? How many YouTube channels are going to do good if Bitcoin crashes to 2K? None, right? So you got to milk it. You got to keep the dream alive, right? But I just, whatever, man. If YouTube doesn't pan out in the end, and I got to pivot to a new thing in the world, that's what it is, bro. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. All right, that's enough on the stock market. I'm sorry, I'm stopping. Is H-bar still on track for a retrace? H-bar is moving with the rest of the market. Do not believe H-bar is independent of its own. Study the altcoin market, study Bitcoin. There's H-bar's answer. It does not move independently. Don't be fooled to think it does. Otherwise, this is likely the future of H-bar in a moment like this that we're in right now, right? Hold on. Right there. Nothing about H-bar says it is independent of doing what the rest of the market is doing. And if the rest of the market enters a moment like this, H bar will do the same. Like 90% probability, right? Mac, Isaac. Sorry. H bar is king. Well, not according to the price chart, but okay. I mean, I got less hate on H bar because, it's got positive developer data. There's interest in it and there's stuff on it. And so, I got a little bag. But, it hasn't done anything unique like that is like special. What was special, and I'm not saying Chainlink is special, even though it has been taken off prior to the rest of the market. In 2018, 19, and 20, Chainlink did break off and go while the whole bear market still kept going for crypto. Chainlink went on and did its thing. It was one of those ones where it was I don't give a crap about anything going on in this market. We're going on a bull run. Let me see if we can pull that up. Right. Here's Chainlink back here in June of 2018. Already bottomed in new all-time highs here in June of 2019. Continuing to new all-time highs before C19. Continuing into more new all-time highs. And already... By the time Bitcoin broke out into its all-time high over here, Chainlink was already 10x its previous 2018, 17 and 18 all-time high, and was already up 11,000% off the low from 2018. So I'm not sitting here stroking Chainlink saying it's the bomb, but the thing was about H bar. Somebody said H bars. What did they say? H bar is the king. No, it's not though. It's literally following what normal corrective structures do in this market. So it's got the same market makers running on it, right? Of what corrections look like, and hasn't done anything independent, right? So that's where you'd say something is king. It's dude, it doesn't care what the rest of the market is doing. It's independently going on doing its own thing. This is kind of just following along with let's add. Where ADA you right. There's nothing unique about the behavior of that particular asset, like we just showed, where it's it's got its own strength, it's doing its own thing, it's totally just acted with the market. So that's what I'm talking about. Not hating. It's just saying, there's nothing unique about it. Hans Loaded gifted a BCB membership. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Hans. Kevin Smith says, at what point do you send your crypto to the exchange to offload to fiat? Tops don't last for long, so cash them as a hard wallet fan is difficult. I just answered that. That was a total jerk, Kevin. My answer is I don't like to answer that for you. You kind of got to decide that for yourself when you're living in that moment. How long do you feel comfortable keeping it on an exchange? It's just a personal preference, man. And I don't know what exchanges you're putting it on. I don't know your risk tolerance level. I don't know if you're putting it on MEXC, if you're putting it on Coinbase, you're putting it on Binance, KuCoin, Bitrue, where you're going. I don't know, right? I think all of them probably have their own levels of sketch to them. Cody Heminger, what is the best option to protect a 401k? Call the provider and switch to treasuries instead of stocks, or withdraw and eat the penalties? That is a totally great question for your financial advisor. Call your financial advisor, Cody. Talk to them about your options. and let them help you decide what's right for you. Seriously, bro, I can't answer that for you, man. Mitman, member for 4 months. You're appreciated, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mint Man. So anyway, yeah, I think we're in kind of one of the most exciting times in the world. I think we'll probably get a lot of those repeat questions like every single day. So is XRP going to $9 right now? We will probably get that. I don't know, guys. We're going to find out, right? We're going to see what the market does. If this is your market, I'll give you the hard answer right now. If we are following 2016, the answer is hard no. Hard no. No way. It means that we still have like at least a year until anything really big happens if we're following 2016. If this is the last exit pump from the market, the exorbitant euphoria from happening for the market, there's a chance we could see it happening right now. But if we are in 2016 still, the answer is clearly a hard no. Because it's just going to go up here. It's just going to stall. And we still have a whole nother year. It's not alt season time. Not in this circumstance, right? So we are going to wait a couple of weeks and see how this market decides to react right now. But if this is it, like if this is our scenario, if we're going to spend... No. So it probably means you need to watch the videos from this week. Pitbull, can you look at Dash? Dash is going to do the same thing the rest of the market is. Be mindful of these areas in here. Be mindful of April of 2022 and be mindful of January of 2022. Outside of that, and Dash, same story as the other ones, right? Those are kind of like the ones that lagged behind and didn't do much in 2021. Can you shout out to my son, Zach, please, from Wigmapool 182. Wigmapool 182, longtime supporter of the channel. Zach, this is a blockchain backer. I hope you're having a great day, brother. Hey, BCB, how do you feel about ADA developer growth? So ADA is an interesting one, so I'm going to be looking into that today. Like if you look at the dev growth, it looks like garbage on here. Where are you? Down 7%, right? Not terrible, right? I mean, look at the market average, -24. So better than market average. It's even better than, what is that? It's the same as Bitcoin, right? And in past updates, so we kind of get these every quarter. How are we in the last quarter? And the quarter prior? Cardano is an improvement from the last quarter, actually. Right? Yeah, it's up from the last quarter. So last quarter, Cardano had 133 full-time devs. Now they're up to 153. So it's actually an improvement from last quarter. Chainlink is at 49, whereas in the last quarter they're at 38. They also had 119 total devs, now at 123. What about these guys? Let's look at these. What about Polkadot? Sort these by largest to smallest. There we go. Polkadot still in downtrend from last quarter. So Polkadot was at 645 last quarter, down to 621. Still bad. Cosmos down to 463. Was at 524 last quarter, down still. Bitcoin was at 322, now at 340. Improvement. Solana crumbling. Was at 363 last quarter, now down to 268. You got Raul Paul really pushing the Solana narrative thing. I think he's probably in on the VC exit. Polygon, we'll see. I don't know that. I'm just speculating because VCs do that kind of crap. Polygon up. Was at 201, now at 258. Kusama up. Was at 186, now at 205. StarkNet up from 132 to 166. BNB up from 133 to 163. Cardano up from 133 to 153. Avalanche way up. That's because they're trying to do the social media thing like FriendTech. From 69 up to 133. Internet Computer flat practically, 123 to 125. Optimism up from 95 to 121. So I don't know. You're seeing some improvements happening here in the market, which isn't reflected in this chart. So I think that's an interesting thing to take. I need to do that data. I need to do that for sure. I mean, that's one of my things on my list that I need to do today. Update that data in regards to changes between quarters, because that's not reflected on there. It just shows the year-over-year change. It doesn't show the quarter-over-quarter. But Daddy BCB downloads that data and puts it in spreadsheets. And so while it's long gone for no one else to have, I still have it because I put it in Excel. All right. There you go, Grumpy Old Man. Grumpy Old Man says we get a spicy BCB when you sell your bag. No, you get humble. Maybe spicy. I don't know. We'll see what it's like, man. It depends on how jerks everybody is. If I get a flood of people saying, like, here's what happens at the top. Here's what you should expect and look for with comments. Okay, like there's certain things you get when you say you're selling, and you have a bunch of people saying you're leading your followers astray. They're all going to get wrecked. This market's taking off without it, and it's your fault. That's a sign. Remember that one. Jacob Avram. Hey, what's going on, BCB? Can you check dev data, market cap, inflation, Wyckoff on CeeLo? I don't know if they have it on there. Down 13%. I'm not going to go through the whole chart, brother, just because we're already way over time right now. But I'll give you the data that no one else has. Down. 72 last quarter, down to 66 this quarter. Way down on total devs too. So they're down on full-time devs and they're down on total devs. They're down from 286 to 209. So this will be good stuff to see. Who is dying? Who is dying heading into this moment? Where is the excitement? Boy, you could see the emotions spring up just in the super chats though today. How many of the exact same questions of kind of panicky are a little bit in there? It's going to be a rough ride. It's going to be a rough move up when it happens. If XRP does not go into a new all-time high by the time the altcoin market cap gets to 702, no. The answer is very simple. No, I don't think it's going into new all-time highs if it doesn't get there by the time the altcoin market gets into a retracement. Geez, this is too long. An hour and 33 minutes. Guys, you guys have been so supportive. I really appreciate it. Jacob Abrams says, hey, what's going on? Hi, BCB. Can you check? Oh, I already did that one. We did CeeLo. Thank you, man. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you so much. I still have a busy day here for me on Friday, kind of preparing for next week, getting some data ready to kind of try to report different stuff. I got a newsletter coming up and all that stuff. So we're kind of getting prepared for end of month. And the end of month is the busiest time for BCB that there is. It's really the kind of most stressful time of the month for me to get through the end of the month, but then we would kick off the new month. It's awesome. As a reminder, with next week, what we have coming, right? We have the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, November 1st. That, of course, comes the day after Halloween. So if you have kids, I hope you guys are all prepared to have a good time on Halloween. Get that candy, have a good time. I know my kids are super pumped. And it's always so cute just to see that innocence in those kids' faces again, to see them kind of just, you know, bliss in ignorance of life, that life is so simple and fun in those times. And it's nice to just kind of soak that in instead of the chaos of real life that we have to deal with. So I hope you guys take a moment to kind of appreciate the kids doing that stuff while they're on Tuesday night, because then we have to dive into the real boring crud and reality of life there on Wednesday with FOMC to see if the Fed does pause. Of course, we'll live stream in the morning like we always do. Then we'll live stream the Fed meeting there at 2 p.m. Eastern is when we actually will end up getting the rate decision. We'll live stream into that to see how markets react. And then, like always, 30 minutes later, Jerome Powell comes on and we live stream through that too. So get ready for a lot of me on Wednesday in regards to live streams. Otherwise, busy me. It is for the next couple of days heading into the end of the week. Kim Bagdali says, what do you think about TRB? That's the one that's already up like 1,000%, right? Yeah, it's already straight lined up. So, yeah, that one's gotten all the way up there. It's already taken out the November 2021 highs. So straight line up. But of course, all that started here after that liquidation took place, where everybody is screaming for 12K. What happens? Wrong foots the whole market. So that's the big leader. Like, I know other people are talking about that one too. But like that's the type of stuff that people go buy it after it's already up 1,000%. It's up literally 1,000% right now. TRB. Good luck to anybody who's planning on buying after 1,000% rise. But there you go. That's how crypto goes. You're scared. You think you're intelligent. You're just scared. That's all it is. All right. Love you guys. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Of course, follow me over here on Twitter or x.com at BCBacker. It's the only social media that I have, and I'm not asking you to send me money. If you are talking to somebody named Blockchain Backer and he is telling you send you money, you're talking to an impersonator, because I don't do that. Check out bcbacker.com for a bunch of content from me to get your mind educated before we head into the good times. I want to thank you all again so much for being a part. Holy cow. Wait a minute. John DeGene. I missed this one. Oh, here. You guys want to see the 1,000% gains. There you go. There's TRB. If you buy after 1,000%, you are literally the exit liquidity for everything. I'm just telling you all that. If you buy after the rise, like, you can't buy it and say, oh, I wish that happened, so I'm going to buy it. Maybe it'll happen again. No, you missed it. There you go. That's 1,000%, ladies and gentlemen. And since August 27th, 2 months, 1,000% in crypto. Don't be fooled to think there isn't stuff going on out here in the crypto market. There are definitely big percentages happening out here. Don't be fooled by the Bitcoin narrative. It's just we're seeing others be the first one to go, which if you caught yesterday's live stream, or not live stream, you caught yesterday's video, very detail oriented on that stuff. So, all right, what was I saying? This, and then PTW sent me this because I missed it. And she's always on top of it, you guys. I don't intentionally do this stuff. It's totally an accident. John DeGene, when is there an R-rated member stream? I'm hoping you do afternoon US, so it's not too late for us Europeans too. Well, are you from France? Are you French? Because, man, you guys will just drop an F-bomb in every sentence, and it's totally casual. It's totally fine. In the member stream, I think I did say I said the A word a couple times, and I do believe I've even said that during this one today. But I don't know. But no, man, I try to keep it family oriented, right? I mean, in the end, what I'm leaving behind, and when this thing is all done, I want my kids just to be proud of what it was. I always believe BCB won't last forever. Maybe it lasts for a decade, right? But it won't be for forever. And I just want to leave behind something I'm proud of. And I want you to feel comfortable with your kids watching, right? Like, this programming is not intended for children, but I know a lot of you guys pull it up on the TV and your kids are in the room and the family's in the room and your wives hear it and stuff. And, I don't want it to be like, man, that guy's got a potty mouth on him. Because that's what happens when I pull it up. My daughter's like, "Why are you listening to that?" So we got to keep it PG just for that. Try to keep it G, but it's mostly PG. But all right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Check out bcbacker.com throughout the weekend, or check out the newsletter, blockchainbacker.substack.com, to get more content from me. Get caught all up on what's going on in things crypto and how this market has behaved throughout the past. Otherwise, I wish you the best. Happy Friday. We made it. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. And by the way, Pat, it did never show up in here. You gifted a 20 bomb of subs. Pat, I appreciate it, man. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Pat, you gifted 25, bro. You are the man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Pat's the man. He's always here. Have a good one, everybody.